Hello and welcome to Jamie's Motion Graphics. Today we're doing episode 1 of a typography series that I'm starting, and it is going to explain how to make multicolored letters. This is just an instructional video. Further into the series we will make actual, typography animations. Who knew? Anyway, enjoy! Okay, here we are in After Effects. I decided to make this series because, it's kind of a popular thing to do, the typography. And we are going to look at, our first effect here. It is going to be a series, as I said, and therefore there are going to be multiple parts. This is going to be about multicolor letters, so I'm just going to make one letter and just show you how to make it in multicolor. So let's take, I don't even know, the J, why not? So if everything goes right, we can actually see it, and that is because it's the wrong color. So currently we're just going to make it green. It's not going to be green, of course. This is just my actual letter. The thing is, if you want to make a letter in typography, you want to make it in a separate layer, in an actual solid. So we're going to make a white solid here, and all we're going to do is just trace the letter. Let's take the opacity down by quite a bit so we can actually see the letter. So we're going to use our pen tool here, and all we need to do is just make some first setup. So yeah, if you can get it correctly the first time, that is awesome. But for now, I'm just going to set up some points, and I can always add more later. So the thing we want is to set up points around the letter, and if you have like a big straight edge, you don't need to do as much as you would need to do for example, this corner. Because for this corner, you need to be a little more precise in your positioning. So we're going to see that later on. Obviously, this is just the first setup. We're going to round off the letter in a moment. And as you can see, I'm using 2 points on the corners, so on the right side and on the left side. And on these big straight edges, I can just do one every once in a while. It doesn't really matter too much. So yeah, don't do too many of them, because it will just get worse instead of better. So what we want now is we want to take our selection tool and just try to get these edges to actually line up. So try to make sure that you don't go outside of the letter for more than like half a pixel, and just set it up in the way you're supposed to set it up. That means that you're supposed to cover all of the pixels, or at least, as I said, half a pixel is still acceptable, but more than that is really not acceptable. So just drag them around a little bit, the handles here, and just make sure that you get that nice view. So dragging out the handles can be done, or you can do two things. First of all, you can make them longer. You can also rotate them. You don't want to rotate them. Keep them in line with the letter where you are at that moment. So currently I'm over here. So I want the handles to be like this. If I put my handles like this, it will never match. Never, ever, ever. Because that is the way they work. They are making a spline. So, and as long as you match them up, you can, for example, push in a little bit over here and drag this a little bit back to make the correct curve. And here you can see that I'm not actually getting the curve that I want, even though I can make it a little bit better, but it's not getting a lot better. So that is because the one on the other side, so this one, is supposed to be the one that I adjust for this. So this one is not the correct angle, not the correct length, and here you can see that by a little bit of dragging, you can actually make that pretty much a fit. I'm going to do this a little bit more. Yeah, you have to go between them a little bit, but as I said, it's not that much of a big deal if it goes off by like half a pixel, especially with a big letter like this. Of course, the smaller your letter, the smaller your margin of error, but you can make like huge letters and then insert them and scale them later on. So this was actually pretty good. So the corner is pretty good. Yeah, here you can actually, if you want to, you can make this like a line. So you can either make it like this, so just put it horizontal and put this one horizontal, and then you will have a line, but you might have some overshoot in the top part. You can also just use your convert vertex tool here to make these two into, well, just straight points, and then drag the other one to fill the gap. Like this will be just fine. So it's a choice, both of them work. Make sure you don't get well, sharp edges here, because the letter doesn't have sharp edges. You can actually move the points if you need to. That's also an option, of course. So this second one, yeah, you need to keep the edge there. So that's why it's not the best solution, but both of them work. And this one will just fill up the gap here, at least a bit. Do I still have the edge? Yeah, it's just about right. So if you're having trouble filling out these things, just pick up your pen tool. So I'm just going to do it, not because I actually have trouble here, because I think it's pretty close, but just go to your line and just add another point. It will automatically mirror the ones on the sides, which means that it will get handles if they have handles. It will not get handles if they don't have handles. But you can convert them with the convert vertex tool. And now you can see that, yeah, it's a little bit better. It doesn't really matter. But here, I should have demonstrated it here, because here I actually need one. So add another point, just drag it to the side where you need it, and then just add enough of the stuff to fit the letter. That's all you need to do. So once you're done with that, which is pretty much now, I think it's pretty good. It's just an example. So once you're done, you can either delete the layer or just, well, hide it like I'm doing. Anyway, currently I can see that, well, this is my letter. And I want to not show the masks, because it kind of looks like, or it looked like it was kind of bad there. So this is my letter. And now I have this part of the layer selected, and all I need to do is just duplicate this letter, like let's say 4 times. I want to have 4 different colors. And then go to, for each layer, go to the solid settings and pick another color. So I'm going to make it kind of the browns, because that's what I like in this letter. And I'm going to set that up first. So solid settings, once again, just pick another brown. So we have like 2 relatively dark ones. Let's make a very light one. So maybe something like this. Combining the light and dark really makes your letter kind of special. I do recommend having 4 or 5 colors maximum, so I guess 5 maximum. But yeah, you can do whatever you want. It's just a lot of work if you do more. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add masks to mask out certain parts of the letter. So just pick up your pen tool and just go into one of the layers. Let's go to the top one first, so we can actually see the result immediately. And we're going to just add some stuff. So this mask is going to be our additive mask, but that means that we do have to kind of remove the rest. So we're going to go to masks here. So if I subtract, if I add this first mask, then this second mask won't actually do anything. So what we want is we want to intersect the 2 masks. And then the 2 masks will kind of form this little shape that is covered by both of them, which is kind of what intersect is. So if we do the same thing with the second one, and we're going to cross over this part because we want to make sure that there's no edge there. Let's go like this and close it. We're going to intersect that as well. And now you can see that even though there is like this part underneath this one, it doesn't show. So you can already see what I'm doing in the top. So for this one, we want to keep the top part, which has these two little, well, triangle shapes. And we also want to add something in the bottom part. We can do this with multiple masks, but the easiest way to do this is just to do it like this. Like, we're going to make a very strangely shaped mask, which does exactly what we want. And then we're going to just intersect that with the other one. And as you can see, now you have, well, 4 colors in your letter, and it's actually fairly easy to make. So let's brighten up this color a little bit. It's a little bit too, well, not cool. That's kind of too similar to the other one. Something like that. Yeah, that's a better color. It's not exactly fitting with the rest, but it'll do. So that's how you make a multicolor letter. It is fairly easy to do, I think. And we're going to use these kind of multicolor letters in the future. So just a tutorial video. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you next time.